What's up, alumni? Today, we have another 3 alumni that I've interviewed. And if you're wondering who they are, wait and see. We've got 3 new alumni. Our first alumni is Justine Woodward. Justine came to the Learning Center in 2006, and before 2006, she was at the American School for the Deaf in Connecticut. She wasn't happy there, so she decided to come to the Learning Center. And wow, what a change! She had success at the Learning Center and graduated in 2010. After graduation, Justine actually traveled all the way to the West Coast. She went to Washington State for an internship opportunity. And once that internship ended, she came back east. After the internship, she went to Rochester for the National Technical Institute for the Deaf, and she's still there for the past 4 years. During summer breaks, she's actually had other internship experience. Actually, she worked on the Army Force Base near her hometown in Concord, Massachusetts. In Concord, New Hampshire. She worked as an IT specialist. Right now, she currently doesn't have a job because she's focusing and investing all of her time to be a good student. She's very motivated to learn. As for family life, she does not have her own family yet, but she plans on it. She does have a boyfriend who she's been dating for the past 2 years. He is actually from Chicago, but he goes to the same school as Justine in Rochester. They have 2 cats, John Doc and Fluffy. And she's actually going to bring her cats back with her to school when she returns in the fall. As for her hobbies, she has a lot of interests. She keeps herself busy. She likes to hang out with her friends a lot. She likes to chat. She says that she can chat for hours on end. She also loves to clean. Kind of a neat freak, actually. She has to live in a clean house. But that sounds about right, huh? She also likes to catch up on different TV shows and movies. And she also is a lifelong learner. She is constantly learning and constantly motivated to learn, which is why she's still in school. Also, Justine identifies herself as a cat lady. She always has to have her cats with her. She loves her cats. When asked what some special memories of the Learning Center are for Justine, she said that she'll never forget all of the hard times she gave to the staff and the teachers. She was pretty mischievous, especially to the dorm staff. She was a troublemaker. She said that brings up a lot of memories for her now. Another memory for her was the prom that she went to in 2008. It was her first prom, and she had a date, and she said she loved the dancing and hanging out all night, and she said actually the food that they had there was delicious, especially the chocolate-covered strawberries. And after prom, they had a post-prom party, and she stayed at a friend's house overnight, and she said she loved it. What fun. When asked how the Learning Center has influenced her life presently, she said she couldn't imagine staying at American School for the Deaf. She wasn't satisfied with the quality of education there, and she didn't have a great social life. She said she thinks she would be doomed if she had stayed there. But thanks to her friend Victoria Maynard, who really pulled her into the Learning Center and convinced her to come here, she decided to give it a try. And she loved it. So lots of thanks to Victoria Maynard for that. Justine said the Learning Center really prepared her for the real world, especially living in the dorms. It helped her build up her confidence, learn independent living skills, and so on and so forth. As for who Justine keeps in touch with, she says she doesn't keep in touch with many staff from the Learning Center. She does still talk to Victoria Maynard quite frequently. And also, Rochester has a lot of Learning Center alumni. Whether they're students at RIT and NTID or staff there, there's plenty of Learning Center alumni around. As for our last question about Max and being stranded on an island with Max, what would you bring? Justine said she would bring her cat, of course. Also, she would bring food to survive, and she would bring clothes that she can change often. Now for our second alumni, Tommy Patierno. Tommy entered the Learning Center at the age of 3 in 1988 and stayed all the way until 2006 when he graduated. He held a job at UPS for about 4 or 5 years after graduation and then broke his arm. So now he's currently doing some contracted work, painting, cleaning, maintenance. He's a very handy guy. He says his family's good, but he doesn't yet have a partner or children or anything. Everything's status quo. As for his hobbies, he loves to play poker, loves to win money. He also was involved in softball. He joined a few softball leagues and clubs, some deaf leagues out there. He enjoys meeting new people that way. And also, he's very involved in his bowling league. He's a hardcore bowler. He was actually elected vice president for his league, which is a big honor for him. We asked him what kind of special memories he had at the Learning Center, and he said that the year of 2006 was amazing. He went to a sports tournament, and the Learning Center was a champion of that tournament. And he said it was a really inspiring moment for them, and he's really, really proud. So that was his senior year, which was perfect timing. When asked how the Learning Center influenced his present day life, he said that back in the day, he was such a troublemaker as a kid. He would give teachers a hard time, and then the teachers would punish him and give him consequences and explain why he was doing wrong, and he said he never listened until he entered the real world. And he was really frustrated, and he realized that he could not mess with the system. The real world is scary. So now he realizes that the Learning Center was right, and he thanks the Learning Center. He's always been a good person, but now he just realized it's the right path. As for who he keeps in touch with, Tommy said that really his club sports have really helped him keep in touch with a lot of alumni and old faces, but he said he loves meeting new faces as well. When asked if he was stranded on an island with Mac, what would you bring? He said he would bring a hammer because that's how he was going to defend himself. He also said that he would bring a candle because, light and vision is important to deaf people to be able to communicate. And at night when it gets dark, to light a candle to see. He would also bring his pager. And when the pager dies, he said he would figure it out later. Our third and final alumni for the week is Tien. Joe entered the Learning Center at 4th grade, so 1993, and he stayed until he graduated in 2006. He actually has a bunch of university and college experiences. Upon graduating the Learning Center, he went to the Gallaudet, realized it wasn't for him, so he went to Northern Essex Community College. That wasn't a great fit, so then he went to Rochester Institute of Technology, stayed for a bit, and then finally transferred to Framingham State University. And that's where he graduated in 2011 with a fine arts degree. He also is heavily involved with volunteer work. Actually, he volunteers in Dorchester with troubled youth who are involved in gangs and whatnot. So he encourages the kids to not be involved in gangs and kind of is a mentor for them in that after-school program. He's also involved in the Lions Dance Company, in which they wear colorful costumes and colorfully designed costumes that reflect the Chinese culture when they dance. Right now, Joseph has an internship at the Learning Center for the summer, but he's also heavily involved with mixed martial arts. He actually does Muay Thai, which is what he teaches. He's very interested in that. He's also a master striker in mixed martial arts, and he teaches, which is great. A lot of it involves kicking and punching and different strategies for fighting. A lot of mental strategizing is involved. He's an assistant coach, a manager, and a teacher at 2 different gyms for mixed martial arts. And he teaches different ages, from kids to adults. A lot of good experience there. As I said, Joe graduated with a fine arts degree, but he's not really using it right now. He said maybe he'll get into teaching, so we'll see what happens. When I asked him what's going on with family, he says he doesn't have a family. He doesn't feel like it's right to have kids with his current girlfriend. So, he did say that he was looking for a lady with class, however. So if anyone's available out there. In terms of hobbies, he likes fighting, mixed martial arts, and as for his record, he's been involved in 40 matches, and he's only had 1 loss. 40 wins, 1 loss, that's really not bad. He also likes fishing, diving, and mountain climbing. He's an outdoors kind of guy. I asked him about any special memories from the Learning Center, and he said that he couldn't really remember from when he was in high school, but right now he really enjoys working at the Learning Center as an intern. He's interning under David Del Pizzo, and he really enjoys the work. And he says the staff treat him as an equal, which is great. Feeling mature. When asked how the Learning Center influenced his life today, he said that when he was a kid, he was very frustrated. He felt like he was always on the wrong path. But now, he feels like he knows what to do, and he's proud of his deaf identity. And he feels like he's on the right path. He's proud of his native language of ASL. The Learning Center really helps with that. When asked who he keeps in touch with, if he keeps in touch with any staff or alumni, he said yeah, he keeps in touch mostly through Facebook. He's friends with Jason Cerny, Jessica Meehan, and of course David Del Pizzo, because now he's interning with his representative. He also keeps in touch with Mary Silvestri. She actually married, but we don't know what her new last name is. So yes, he does keep in touch with various alumni and staff around campus. As for the Max question, he said he would bring rock salt with him. And he said that would prevent ghosts from coming into his property. And I said, why? I asked him why. And he said, ghosts are supposed to rest in peace. So let them rest in peace. I'm minding my own business, so should they. He also said he would bring a shovel, so that if he found Max, he could bury him again and tell him to rest in peace. The third item he would bring is a flashlight. And he said that's for his own safety. So that's all for this week, folks. More alumni vlogs to come in the coming weeks. Be on the lookout. Maybe you'll see your story retold next. Who knows? Watch out for it.